All right. So terror, scandal, controversy, collusion, all these things have been thrown out. And the very foundation of the greatest league ever has been rocked to its very core. We called an emergency meeting to discuss the events that transpired. Even though we're a couple days removed, the wound is still open, still very raw. And we've called in.
But Jamarr Chase is not on IR.
We've called a third party to weigh in on the matter.
Yeah.
Jock and Tommy Pham situation.
So introducing Joe Griffith. Joe Griffith is a buddy of mine from Chico, California. Originally, we met at Davis. Intramural sports / basketball player, league champ extraordinaire. He is former commish of the Chico League. After many years in power, decided that he would bestow the torch upon our buddy Sam. But he is Joe. Why don't you give some of your fantasy resume to? And by the way, Joe, what do you know about the situation to this point?
I know there was some sort of disagreement. That's literally all I got.
I have not told Joe anything about what's happening. He is literally coming into this with an unbiased opinion. Joe, speak to your credentials, please.
Oh gosh. I play a lot. I win very little, and I feel like I can be impartial and give a decent ruling on this. Yeah. Is this redraft? Is this a normal league? What are we talking?
This is our half PPR. Nima, you still there?
Oh no.
He looks very, very pleased, very happy with the situation in freeze mode. I'll text him to get him back. We can. It's probably better that. Okay, there we go. I think we got Nima back. There we go.
Literally, my iPad just shut down and out of anger, I think, and just frustration. I thought it ran out of battery, but as soon as it has battery, it just died. So who knows?
All technology is frustrated at this point with what's gone down. So this is our 2-quarterback, big money, Agora Friends, half PPR league. And obviously lots of banter. Nima and I have started just kind of every like month or so, or every few weeks, we'll just kind of chime in and give some takes and give some predictions and just have fun with it. But there was a trade that took place. Okay. And it seems very amicable to this point in terms of what's transpired, but I want to hear a third party's opinion on what should have gone down, because this could be future food for thought in case something like this happens again. Right. I think this is a perfect learning and teaching moment from someone I consider a competitive equal, a borderline mentor when it comes to drinking games and fantasy games of the like. So here's the situation. 2 days ago, we were talking about getting a video posted, and we, recorded something. One of the things we talked about was that there's been a lack of, blockbuster trades, lack of activity, lack of stuff going down. And the next day I'm getting the video posted, and it's about 1:00 PM. Okay. And from there, Nima's like, hey, just get it posted. I'll get it on the league board, whatever. And by the way, I've got a deal in the works, and I'm about to click accept on the blockbuster. So Nima, why don't you give your side of the proposal?
So it's been a couple of weeks of, it started out honestly because Amir, the guy I made a trade with, is in 9th place. Has the most points scored on by like 250 points. We talked about the whole thing. So it's been like a tough season for him. And him and I have been throwing out, trade options. And it started with Jamarr Chase for Derrick Henry.
Oh.
Seemed like a fair trade on both sides. We were both kind of like into it and stuff. But then he kept saying, look, I need more pieces. I need more, all that kind of stuff. So a couple iterations, but it kind of flamed out, a little bit. Right. On Monday, we talked about it a little bit again, but actually for Zeke Elliott, not for Henry, like a smaller trade. Yeah. He's like, look, give me till the waiver wires on Wednesday, and then we'll talk about it. Okay. Talked on Wednesday. He wasn't really into it. We had a review to our podcast, all that kind of stuff. Thursday, around 1:00, I'm driving, and I get a notification of a trade offer
And
I
the
was
offer came into him.
Yeah, it came to me. Like I didn't make an offer. He made the offer to me, and it was like 115 or something like that. And I looked at it, and it was Chase, Dallas, was it Dalton Schultz,
Right.
Isaiah Pacheco for Derrick Henry and Terry McLaurin.
Okay.
So I looked at it. I literally semi pulled over, looked at all the injury stuff. And Andy and I were texting, and I'm like, I sent a picture of it to Pasha, actually. I'm like, Pasha, I'm just making sure it's all, I'm like, I'm about to hit accept on this trade. And then he had his few cents, that's crazy. All the huge trade, all that kind of stuff. And then I'm like, all right, I hit accept on it.
All right, he clicks accept.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. At 123, 121. I texted you when I did it.
Timeline is important here.
Yeah.
I think it was 1:21 p.m. Okay.
Let me get this. I'll tell you exactly, because I texted you, Andy, and I said, Andy, look at your email, right? So I texted Andy, check your email at 1:20. Okay.
Yep.
That's when it
Check
went through.
your email at 1:20.
Yeah.
And my exact response via text was, whoa, big come up. Okay.
Whoa.
So
there you go.
So then from there, and remember, Nima's the commissioner of the league. So obviously he's always in the spotlight. You've been there too. And then we get the notification that
I text Amir and I say, pleasure doing business with you. He sends me a handshake emoji, good deal. Everyone's pumped. We're all good. Everyone's happy.
So here's the deal right here.
121. There it is.
138 or 140. The news breaks about Jamarr Chase.
Right.
He's out. He is out 4 to 6 weeks. Trades in the books. And all of a sudden, Nima's firing back to me saying, what do I do? So coming into this cold, seeing the timeline, give us your thoughts and give us your take here.
To me, the timeline is everything. The trade went through. You're looking around, looking to see, did I miss anything? Okay, I didn't miss anything. Trade goes through, and then the news breaks after the fact. Whether it's 15 minutes is kind of a crazy, what are the odds? 15 minutes, but 15 minutes versus 4 hours, I don't really see how it matters. I think the trade is the trade. It went through. I mean,
so
even if there was a little inside information, oh man.
So mind you here, this is also a commissioner who has been at the forefront of many events in the league. He picked up Isaiah Pacheco at 4:48 a.m. claiming that he was taking a poop and he just happened to be awake when the news broke. So this is someone who's dialed in with the transactions.
Yeah. You should tell the most famous event in our league history about controversy. The championship game versus Jeffy. That was Joe, I gotta tell you about this one. This is 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. Championship week. Okay, I'm in the championship. And I played somebody else. We called him Jeffy, and he was in our league. And I think it was his first or second year. I don't know. But anyways, we're playing for the championship. Game ends. I lose by a point, a half a point. It was really close.
Yeah.
I pay him out. Congratulations. Fantastic. Oh. He got the money, everything. 4 days later, I'm just bored. I look at the app and it says I won. And I'll never forget. It was it was a receiver who had 72 yards and caught a pass. Oh, I don't remember who it was. Caught a pass for 3 yards. They gave him 3 extra yards to give him 75 yards. 75 is our bonus, and it put me over the top.
Okay, so you went over the top by a lot. You went from a half-point loss to
a 1.5 point, 2 point win or something 2 point win or something like that.
Yeah,
landslide victory.
Yeah,
right.
And then so I had to go back and show him I actually won stat correction, and I need to prove it. He didn't he's no way, dude. He's that's crazy. And I had to show him the stat corrections, all this kind of stuff. And I mean, as the commissioner, and I had to ask for the money back,
Right. Oh man.
What? So that was like one of my, that was like the worst situation. I couldn't believe it. I literally checked it like 10 times before I even said anything. But yeah, so that's in the history of our league.
Yeah, Joe, go for it.
You're in the right there. I mean, that is what it is. Like, we had a guy in our work league. It's just a small league. It's whatever to do it. And he will claim that he didn't quit the league because of the stat correction. He just needed a break. He absolutely got knocked out by stat correction. And is still salty about it, but it happens. I just got this
in the championship is a whole different animal, but it happened.
We lost Jeffy from that moment on. There was no trust. There was nothing.
I get it, but it's not you. It's you're looking at the stats. It's what you're given.
So he's been at the crux of controversy previously. We already know he's dialed in with the transactions. Joe, do you think he could have known more than he let on Jamarr Chase's condition?
Absolutely possible, but I would also say, insider information, like, good for you for getting information. Like, I don't know.
And I genuinely didn't. I was literally in my car. I had no idea. I hadn't looked at it. It wasn't like an ongoing, I had no idea. And it wasn't like I offered it to him knowing. I mean, regardless. And Amir's pretty good at this stuff too. He knows he's in multiple leagues and all that kind of stuff.
This is a player who's 1-6, who's looking to shake things up, looking to make something happen.
Former Chase
coming off of two big weeks, 2 monster weeks. Obviously, the justification is there, but considering it's the commissioner, considering it's the track record, Joe, is this truly bad luck for someone who is now kind of had borderline lost season, or is this just another case in a line of scandal of a dictator or an anti-faction group that's abusing their power?
It's hard to say. I think, sometimes these guys, when it rains, it pours. We got Marcus in our league. He's just, poor guy cannot catch a break to save his life. I think it's bad luck. I think, if I'd be pretty bitter if someone knew that someone was going to IR, or at least, I think apparently he's not going to IR, but he's close, 4 to 6 weeks. I'd be pretty bitter. Like, that's kind of grubby if it's that bad and then send something out. But if you hear a little rumbling, like, oh, he did limp off, hopefully he's okay, he might be a little shook up, and you send it that way, and there's no like overt like announcements, no big news, official news, I don't really have that much of a problem with it. But
the questionable tag was there. There was no doubt about that, the fact that he was hurt.
Right.
And
he left that game, yeah.
And that's what I said to Nima, is I felt that, hey, this is in the books. This is just a timeline of events, things where, I mean, yeah, what if he got hurt, playing the next week's game? Like, is it any worse of luck, So I completely agree here with you. And I do. Have you ever seen, or do you remember ever, if there was a trade that was proposed and then someone accepted it on the other side after they found out the piece of information that, like, oh, like, quick click, like, oops, sorry, didn't know.
That's why I don't let trades hang out there. I always cancel my trade. I don't want that to ever happen.
That's the thing. And what, Andy, you're in the sleeper now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you guys using sleeper at all for that league?
We're still in Yahoo, still in the early ages. We just upgraded from Sandbox, if you remember that.
Okay. I really like sleeper, how they have the like exploding trades. I know you can put a limit on Yahoo, like a day or 2 days, but that's kind of nice. That's a little countdown, and it reminds you, because I'm in leagues where people let trades sit for like weeks, and I just know that they're just hoping that someone on the right side goes down and they bloop.
Someone just figures it out.
That's a little dirty.
It is. It's totally dirty. That's why, I never leave them out there.
So I texted Amir, and I talked, and then just so Pasha, another league member, was there. I texted him, call me. So he calls me. I'm like, dude, I don't like this. This isn't. I'm like, I understand, like, we were talking about. He's like, was it? He's like, did you know? I'm like, I had no idea. He's like, and he was actually a super gentleman about it and said, like, look, this happens. It's shit luck. I'm not happy about it, but it just happened. This is what it is. And if it's legit, it's legit. If you would have gotten hurt the next day at practice or the next day to make it different, but I still didn't like it. I didn't feel good. Didn't feel right. So I offered him 2 solutions. I offered him 3 solutions, actually. I'm like, I'll give you McLaurin back. I'll trade you CeeDee Lamb for Jamarr Chase. So you get Lamb, and I'll just take Chase back.
Right.
or put it to a league vote.
Wow.
And he took neither and asked for Dallas Goedert over Dalton Schultz, which happened.
Okay, yeah, I saw that. I was wondering about that. Okay.
Yeah.
So a very, very cordial understanding of the rules. You could also look at it as a commissioner trying to clean his hands and sweep something under the rug by performing a public service. But I think that overall it was like a very, very amicable understanding. Like, hey, this sucks. Like in all reality, Nima didn't have to do anything in my eyes.
I
Like
agree, 100%.
and so to give the upgraded tight ends and make all the other offers, it was a very rare show of sportsmanship in a time that needs it more than ever.
I'm impressed. You guys are blowing my friends out of the water. Not only would any of the people in my league not have offered any of this, they would have just rubbed salt in the wound. Probably posted daily about how much better their team is now, and just food. I don't know, like Schultz and Goddard. I don't know, with Dak coming back, Schultz went ham bone last year with Dak. So
that's why I drafted him like in the 6th or 7th round, I believe, or something like that, if I remember correctly.
But obviously the linchpin here was that upgrading to Derrick Henry, and like Nima's firmly about to make like a strong playoff run. Like this is like an upgrade for him. So to have something so shitty just kind of come to light, like this timing thing, it just all felt like, well, how do I not take advantage of this when I've now upgraded so much based off of the news that just broke? And that's what led to the controversy. But overall, like you said, it was just a way night and day compared to what the other jokers would do in the Chico League. And Nima, just so you know, Joe at the draft, I actually said to his face like how horrible his team he drafted was, and he proceeds to go out there week 1 and beat me by like 70 points, and I just ate all my words. So you never know in this game. It's one of those things where all of a sudden if Henry goes down or if something happens, you never know. It seemed like more of a timing thing than anything, but I wanted to get the third party take on it just to show the group that, hey, this is what people think about fantasy football from the outside.
Do you remember last year we made fun of I forget what his name now at this point in the league. Stephon took AJ Green in the 6th round, and
5th round.
We belittled him, and he won the whole thing.
And he wins the league.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well,
but,
the emergency nature to what needed to go down. Obviously, we were excited to see the trade happen. We were pumped to just have some action and kind of juice up the league a little bit. But then without shades of gray, without the dark underbelly presenting itself here, I thought we were going to get like a quick resolution from you, Joe, and I was hoping to just get it out there immediately. But everything, like I said, if we had some people from previous years, this probably could have stewed for quite a bit. And I think if it were a couple other people involved, that this would have just blown up, and they would be like, no, like I'm not taking this trade. Like, give me the players back, kind of thing.
Right. No, it's good to have.
I think that was on the table. I mean, I'll say Amir handled it amazingly, like a true gentleman. Like he probably better than I would have handled it. But it's but I mean, like Derrick Henry could get hurt this week and Chase could come back in 3 weeks, and who knows? But definitely not my favorite moment in trade history in this league. No. Yeah. I felt like an asshole immediately.
It's true. And
at the screen share there, Breece Hall was involved in a trade too.
Yeah.
That was early on.
Yeah, that was early.
That one was a pre ACL injury.
You got like 2 or 3 weeks out of him, 2 weeks out of him, 3 weeks out of him, or something like that. Then you got
Not as bad, still bad.
Still very bad. Quick hot take, Joe, before we let you go. Appreciate you joining the show. Another trade hot take. Who wins on this side of the deal? Half PPR, Miles Sanders for Devonta Smith.
Half PPR, Miles Sanders, Devonta Smith. I don't know. I think for that one, I could go either way. You got to see the rosters to see what that does. I think you're going to be a little steady Eddie with Miles Sanders, but Devontae has that higher ceiling. So if you can kind of, I don't know. I'd have to see.
I think Miles will throw you like a 10 to 15 points a week pretty consistently.
Right.
But Devontae can throw like a 30, 40 point league once in a while to kind of make it even. So
there's also that
one needs a
zero
running back, one needs a receiver. So it's kind of
that zero floor though. 0 receptions, 4 targets. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I ruined my life week 1. But I thought I got away with that one. So David, now you heard it here. It wasn't that uneven. We made a comment on our last episode that I felt like I got away with an early birthday present. And so I got Sanders. But the thing is, and this is important to note, we start 3 wides and 2 flexes. So every position player is important when it comes to that. You can't really build depth either because we only have 4 bench spots. So every drop feels like, you're parting with a child.
You hate it. Yeah.
Unless you're Jordan, who's dropped DK Metcalf, Darren Waller, Jacoby Myers. Who else? Am I missing somebody, Andy? Those 3
I mean, we could go to the tape. There's it's not good in terms of his particular record. And Joe, this guy is also he's 1-6, and
he's also human trash, but it's a different story.
Oh, man. Doesn't have a lot going for him right now.
Love you, Jordan. Just totally kidding.
Basically, what we joked about last time was his $500 donation to the league pot was very generous. It's generous. It's nice. It goes anonymous in the paper.
He had the first pick and took Jonathan Taylor in a super flex league when he really should have taken Josh Allen. And he probably has a better roster than Devin does, and who took Josh Allen with the 3rd pick. And Devin's in first place because Josh Allen scores 40, 50 points every single week. And Jordan's in last place. And Jordan has Taylor and Saquon Barkley. He's got some other pieces.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just a different beast. And when we looked at each other when Josh Allen slipped to 3 and our buddy Devin just like hopped out of his chair, just like So yeah,
tough go. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate your insight, Joe. And as I think all 3 of us have been commissioners before, we all kind of understand the pressure that kind of brings onto it.
Right.
And it didn't feel good.
There's
in a commissioner review trade league. There you go.
Yeah.
I reviewed it. It was good.
Yeah. You're good. Good to go. Good to go.
Push it through. Yeah. Well, Joe,
and I legit thought about like, hey, like I was busy. I was taking photos of the house. So I'm like, I'm gonna just do this later. Like, but then you texting me, I'm like, I want Andy to see this. I'll just hit accept now. I'm gonna do it later anyways. And then I just did it, and that was it.
There you go.
So there you go.
Well, there you go. So Joe, thanks again for joining. Is it the Causeway Classic this weekend for Sac State Davis?
Are we talking field hockey or what?
I think it's highlight.
Pickleball.
Yeah, pickleball. Chicken and pickle.
Pickleball's hot right now. Pickleball's hot right now.
My friend, Dana, hold on. My friends wanted to play with me, so I'm gonna put them on.
Okay. You should do that. Yeah, for sure.
Grayson, you should do that, buddy. Well, Joe, we love you, man. Thanks again for chiming in.
Real pleasure.
We'll get this posted so you can add it to your highlight reel. And we'll see you on Sunday via text.
Sounds good.
Everybody. Good times.
Later,
buddy.
Later, guys. Bye.